So this week we're asking some questions, and the first question is, how do you explain SQL to someone without the knowledge of a basic knowledge of SQL? So I would explain SQL as a language that the computer uses to communicate with a large database of information. For example, programming languages like Python, JavaScript, C++, and all are languages and machine languages used by the computer. But SQL is a language that is used specifically to communicate with database, and then database are a collection of data, just like when we have spreadsheets, Excel files for information of employees in the company or information based on a business, or yeah. So we use database, and it's more comfortable because you get to ask questions. Like if you want to know, it's much more faster when you want to know something about an information, and you don't have to start looking through each of the tables and doing that yourself. You can just write a simple SQL language a statement to help you bring out the answer. So that's how I explain it. And what are different types of keys in SQL? So the different types of keys that I know are the primary key, the foreign key, the super key, the unique key. Yeah. So I think the alternate key and the candidate key. So but the main ones that we use the most as the foreign key and the primary key. So the primary key is like a column, is like a particular column in a table that is used as a unique identifier. And in this column, there cannot be any null values or any duplicate numbers, or yeah. So all the numbers are unique and is used as a unique identifier in that particular table. And the foreign key is used on a colon, like this identifies a colon that is already a primary key in another table. So that is how that is what the foreign key is in particular. So, and then I think for other keys like the candidate key, I'd explain the candidate key as a key that is a qualifier for a unique identifier in a table. We can also, it's just like a colon in a table that can be used to, is used to identify a colon in a table that can be used as a unique identifier, if not the one used as a primary key. So, and then the unique keys, similar to the primary key, contains unique values, no duplicate values and all. And then for the foreign key can contain some null values depending on the qualities or the things given to the table at the point of creation. So yeah, those are the things. And then can we list the joins? So to list the joins, I'll say we have the inner join, the left outer join, the right outer join, the full join, yeah, the self join from my personal research. But the ones that we use the most is the left outer join, the right outer join, the full join, and the inner join. So the left join, what the left join does is that it the left join brings all the information from the left table and brings only the information from the right table that can be found in the left table. Yeah, so that is what it does. For example, if you want to get something from employees table that has their information and a table that has their salary in another table, and you want all the information, but just the salary from that page. You don't want the payment date. You don't want anything related to the other table, just the salary. So you use that, which means you use the left join to take everything from the first table and just the table, the columns you need from the next right table. So that is what you use. And then you join them using the unique identifier we talked about before, which is probably the ID or something. So yeah, that's what the left join is. And the right join is the opposite of the right join is the opposite of the left join, which means you take all the contents of the right table and join it to the content on the left table, and join the contents that can be found for what you want on the left side. So the next one is the inner join. So this inner join only deals with the common information from the two tables. The middle point that has the same information that can be found on the left and the right. It doesn't have any business with any other information. But what you want that is on the two tables is what the inner join brings out for you. So then full join joins, just like what it means, a full join joins all the tables, the two tables together, brings all the information from the two tables and joins them into one. So that is what the full join does. Now, the self join I talked about, which is what I learned myself, the self join just, it happens between just one table. It joins one part of it to another part of it in the table. So yeah, and then the last question is, what is the importance of data integrity your working in your workings with SQL? So personally, I think data integrity is very important because in SQL you work with data in a database. And if the data in the database is inconsistent or not accurate or reliable, you can come out with wrong values, wrong informations. And in SQL, they use the information they mostly use it to get information that can be used for to grow a business more, to check the performance of a business. Now, if the information being entered into the database is not reliable or not accurate, you could get wrong results and use those wrong results in what you want to use it for, which will not bring out good results. So that is why data integrity is very important in SQL. Data integrity has to do with responsibility, accuracy, reliability, consistency, maintenance. So that is what data integrity has to do. So these are my answers to questions, and I hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much.